very specific.
Yes.
With Professor Brault. As we welcome you back to Tucson, he's Stephen Brault, I'm Greg Caserta. We've had a lot of fun here today, and we're just getting going. 2 more doubleheaders tomorrow and Tuesday. The opening games will be aired on MLB Network. And so far, it has been all Colombia. The new pitcher beyond
for Tehran tonight. 6 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, no walks, of course, no runs. Only gave up 2 base runners.
Lucas Ramirez serves a base hit into left field. Manny's son turns around after a base hit the other way. That's a real one for Brazil. And they got a little something here in the 7th for the first time.
A sharp line drive out to left field. The last time we saw a sharp line drive, Gio Urshela said, nuh-uh. Unfortunately, he was not in range for that one. Good swing by Ramirez, just keeping his hands inside the ball, driving it the other way. Get himself a knock and on base. And down 4, probably not going to see too much movement over at first. You got to build an inning here.
It's because his mother, Juliana, is from Brazil. So he has the option, 2-0.
Yeah, and he's 19 years old. And to be honest, that DR team is going to be stacked. They're going to have a lot of big leaguers, obviously. And so just any opportunity to play in the WBC, pretty much anybody's going to jump at that opportunity. It's good to see him out here getting some reps against good competition.
And what's crazy is that when you look at the current WBSC world rankings, the Dominican Republic is ranked number 11 in the world.
Yes, but it is a weird thing. I've been trying to figure that out myself. Right? There's a lot of tournaments that go on in the world, and if you don't play in a lot of tournaments, you just lose out on points that other teams are going to be getting. So, for example, Chinese Taipei, ranked number 2 in the world, at one point ranked number 1, because they...
Zabaleta comes set with the 2-2, and there's Reginado doing what he does best, slicing one the other way, cut off by Mariaga, and the throw comes in, runner stopped at third. And everybody oohing and eyeing as Ramirez scrambles back to third base. But Reginado with a double.
Short funk, but for him in the WBC, extremely long. 2 whole at-bats without a hit. That's just crazy. But just look at that swing. Just puts barrel straight to the ball, no movement. And line drive into that right center field gap. And because that ball's dropped, he's able to, advance to second base. And we'll take a look at this runner going around third. Look at Ramirez. He takes a little bit too long to pick up his third base coach, and therefore he has to really slam on the brakes there around third. So for all you folks watching back at home,
Reginado double, second and third for Dante Bichette Jr. And suddenly Brazil has a little oomph, a little juice.
And I tell you, a lot of times it's just that mental flip. We're having such a hard time getting anything hard hit against Tehran. It seems like everything is going his way, and so he gets out and it's a weight off of an offensive shoulders. And especially when you get that first hit, then things really start to unravel at times.
Pitch to Bichette. That's a good take, 1-1. Bichette is fly to right and struck out. Now he sees the 29-year-old from Maria La Baja, Colombia, Ezequiel Zabaleta. He's been on the national team before. Righty comes set. Colombia willing to give up the run, and Bichette waves at it and fouls it away.
Keeping the off-speed away from Bichette here, trying to make him go the other way.
The smaller events he's played around the world. Bichette taps it to third. Urshela to the plate. Too easy for the second out of the inning. Every time they've needed a big defensive play, they've gotten it. And Gio Urshela with a dime to get Ramirez.
Yeah, I think right there, that's just, that's not the right choice there. The ground ball to third base. Look, you're in scoring position, there's 1 out. So you want to be at third base with 2 outs. And that bounce right there, especially, you got to know who's behind you, who's playing defense there. Gio Urshela is the best defender on the field. Yes, he made an error to start this game, but that is not who he is. You see how quickly he transfers this in a perfect throw to home in plenty of time. That's a bad base running mistake by Brazil for the 2nd time in 2 innings.
Having that
unscathed.
He can sneak and snake. 0-2. He does both. And he punches out Hoju to escape Brazil's best chance in the 7th. They had back-to-back hits, but they couldn't score. Time to stretch. Colombia up 4-0.
It's going to work, but if you throw it on purpose, that's even better. Look at that. That freezes him big. He's bending back, afraid he's going to get hit in the face. A lot of movement on that curveball.
I don't know if Gio Urshela has ever looked so surprised.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good pitch, like a lot of movement, right? That's a pitch that in the minor leagues, especially when you're looking at ABS.
Camargo, crack shot into center field, no chance. Maciel needs to play it off the wall, and that takes a big old hop. Coming back towards the infield. Jair Camargo has his first hit. It's a 2-out double here in the 7th.
It's a good swing right there. Just a solid line drive up the middle of the field. After striking out in his last 2 at-bats, that's got to feel really good. Had the RBI ground out his first time up, struck out twice, and then just gets a pitch down and away and gets the barrel to it, drives it out to center field. Never got very high, but it got pretty far.
10 Colombian hits, 5 doubles. So they haven't needed a whole lot of traditional power, but they're thumping tonight. And Camargo keeps the inning going for Herrera, who has 2 of those doubles.
See, but what I think is amazing about this is finish that stat line. 10 hits, 5 of them being doubles, and only 4 runs. So they haven't really broken out yet, but this offense clearly... And that ball, I mean, that's uncatchable.
Yeah. Oh, look out. And a close play at second with Camargo just getting in behind the tag.
He'll slide it back into second base. Ended up being really close. Honestly, I think it may have been a timed play from the catcher. If they had done that a little bit earlier, the shortstop had cut in early enough that they would have been able to get him. Just took a little bit too long to get the pitchers moved to second base.
3-0 on Herrera. He was 1 for 3 in the last WBC. Hit a home run off Great Britain's Ian Gabot in Colombia's 7-5 loss. And now first base open, and we're just going to put him on right here. Reynaldo Rodriguez was 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. The bullpen let up just 1 run over 5 1/3, and it looked like they were on their merry way. But for whatever reason, and Jose Mosquera told us this, the clubhouse just fell apart after that.
Yeah, there's always going to be a little bit of frustration from some players who maybe not playing the way they want to in this tournament. But really, when it comes down to it, you got to the Classic. But once again, it looks like they're going to do everything they can to get back.
Here's that home run from Reynaldo Rodriguez, high and deep into the left field corner. Randy Arozarena couldn't get it, and it came off former Dodgers lefty Julio Urias. You got to watch that one all the way out at Chase Field.
It also bears, mentioning that when the actual Classic comes around, Colombia does have a few players that are not here that they will be able to add to this roster, which you think when it comes to the actual Classic, you'll probably get those guys like Quintana and Nabil Crismat, guys who have plenty of big league time that can really help this team kind of jump up as well.
Losing Quintana certainly hurts this team. They added Oscar Campos to take his spot, or excuse me, Carlos Ocampo, beg your pardon, to fill his spot in the pitching department. And you and I were talking about this today. Did we ever find
at winning the World Baseball Classic?
Runner goes to third, and now it gets through. That was a great read by Camargo. Both runners advance on the wild pitch. So now it's Herrera up to second, and a 2 RBI chance here for Buelvas in a 3-1 count.
So after they check on Camargo at second and almost pick him off with that back pick, now Camargo gets a huge break because they are not paying attention to him at all. And unfortunately, the catcher, Lelis, is unable to find the handle there on a pitch that really wasn't bad. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that's probably a pass ball because he tried to throw it before he caught it, which is something that catchers have to make sure. You got to see that ball in all the way first, and then you can make that throw down to the back.
That I think Brazil wants to see right now, and that is Jesus Mariaga.
Yeah, tough situation here that Gouveia finds himself in. The double, the intentional walk, and now an actual walk.
And this is where things went haywire for China in game one of our doubleheader. Artur Sugiguchi was playing catch in Brazil's bullpen. He likely gets the call right here, as Brazil manager Yuichi Matsumoto comes out, and there's the signal.